Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Tevaron here, and welcome back to the Shrouded Isle, the occult, high priest, sacrifice your fellow villagers game. And we've got our advisors picked for this season and are ready to begin. We do need to get Cadwell out of the rebellious zone or they will revolt. We have to do that by the end of this season. And so, we will have Hana encourage discipline, all by herself. At what point are they out of rebellion? I'm not sure what exact level numerically they need to be out of rebellion. I imagine it would be above 60, negative 60. Alright, she had a poor outcome, so we lose discipline. We also lost obedience because her vice is she's cynical. So cynical has to do with obedience. She gave us a negative 20. That's not good. However, obedience was not red at the beginning of the season, so we will not lose the game if it's in the red at the end of this season. And that's good because we need to keep using her and raising our standing with the Cadwells. Right, losing standing with everyone except for the Cadwells. But unfortunately, this is the position that we're in, and this is what we must do. This is not helping us discover who is the coward that CHERNOBOG has demanded we sacrifice either. Luckily, obedience can only go so low, and then it's just stuck there at the very bottom. Gained no further knowledge about Hana there. So we have gotten them back up to dissatisfied. So I'm going to stop concentrating there. It does appear that it is 60 at which the rebellious starts. So finish. We want to encourage obedience if we can. We also want to discover people's vices. Unrepentant. Well, it doesn't matter because we know for certain that our coward is a man. Because CHERNOBOG said, bring him to me. Right, we will grab Valen, Casimir, and Yaromir, and hopefully uncover some information. Alright, average outcome in burning of books. He is rumored to be penitent, so that helps our penitence. He is not fervored, so we lost some fervor, though we don't know what it is. I don't think it's a very high vice or a very low vice, however you want to state that. Because fervor didn't look like it went down too awfully much. Okay, poor outcome, so we lost penitence, though not a ton. Ignorance helped our ignorance and had an unknown effect. Yaromir had an average outcome for investigating heresy. Also helped with penitence. Is rumored to be undisciplined, so that hurt discipline. Looked like it also hurt fervor. He arrives late to every advisor meeting, mumbling an apology. Why did that look like it hurt fervor, I wonder? Huh. Well, we're not going to be able to get Cadwells into the range where we can make inquiries of them. There's just no hope of that. All we can do is keep them from being rebellious. And now we must make a sacrifice. The question is, do we just sacrifice another Cadwell and peg them all the way to the bottom again? Of course, if we do that, then we lose because they will rebel. There's no one who is deserving of sacrifice, even if we picked Hana. See, well, it doesn't say it here, but if they weren't in rebellion at present, it would say that they're outraged because her vice is forgivable. I think that Yovska are our best relationship, so they can most likely take the hit. They will be outraged since we have no proof of her transgressions, but we don't have proof of any one of this group's transgressions, so we're kind of screwed there. However, I think we have to do this. Sorry, meant to skip that scene. I'll try to remember to do that in the future. No need for us to see that every time. So we got a minus 50 with Yovska and improved everyone else plus 5. We gained 5 penitence but lost 10 discipline. And now we're back to spring with 2 years remaining, and the percentage sign is gone here now, I suppose because this is the release build instead of the preview build. They've went back in, put a patch, and fixed that sort of thing. Criminals and rebels talk openly of rebellion. I must enforce obedience by the end of this season. That's bad. It's going to require us to be above this, which, as long as our Lord CHERNOBOG doesn't tell us to encourage obedience, the threshold will stay where it is, but if he tells us, it will move up and make it even harder. Okay, we have a letter. Carl arrives on behalf of House Efferson, asking for additional funding for repairing their whips. There are many penitent that need punishment, but where should the money come from? So we could take it from the Cadwell budget and lose standing with them. We could take it from the Kegney budget and lose standing with them. Or they must fund their own repairs and penitence itself will suffer. Well, penitence is almost pegged, so let's not lose standing with any of the houses. So we lost 15, but we could very readily afford to do that. Okay, still looking for the coward. And Valen is kind of my chief suspect, as he is rumored to be lacking fervor, and I think cowardly would be under lacking fervor. And it is. We found the coward, so we can sacrifice him and appease almighty CHERNOBOG at the end of this season. However, we will not want to pick him to do anything because it will hurt fervor greatly at a -30. Come to me, my lamb. Yovska, we want to try to still uncover people's traits while not hurting our stats too awfully much, but we know nothing about these two. We should probably go ahead and inquire. Let's ask about Chessa. Rumored to be disciplined. Sure, you can be my advisor this time, just don't touch me. Don't worry, I'm not that kind of high priest, I promise you. The Cadwells are still very low. We can't make an inquiry. But we need to appoint someone to help us, not to screw us. Disobedient, that will hurt what we're trying to do, so let's appoint Svetlana, since we know nothing about her. Weasel is a pretty bad vice, though not bad enough to sacrifice for. The Blackborns. We need someone with a +2 obedience. Can we find someone with a +2 obedience? Rumored to be obedient. Elegant. Apparently that helps obedience, +5. Well, it's the best we can find right now. Let's take her. And the Effersons. Lawful's a good trait. Narcissist is a bad trait. Practical's a good trait. Do you have lacking fervor? So our fervor's also fairly low, but we've got a decent chance if we use him of actually uncovering exactly what this trait is, so let's take Casimir. At least it's not a negative to obedience, so that's good, and begin the season. Okay. So, Svetlana, we do need to raise our standing with you, so we will choose you, and we need to raise obedience. So we will choose these two, and hopefully neither of them will hurt fervor. Right? That did not appear to hurt obedience. I don't think. I was trying to watch down there. She had a poor outcome, so it did hurt discipline. But she's rumored to be disciplined, so she had a minor positive effect on discipline. We don't know what, and we don't know what her vice is. Average outcome with investigate heresy. Makes it fashionable to seem organized, so obedience +2. Didn't look like we had much of an effect there. Surely her vice isn't against obedience. That would be really bad. Really, really bad. Huh. That helps with penitence. He can help penitence, and ignorance. She'll help discipline, but we don't know anything else about her. Well, it seemed obedience, maybe it just didn't show it rising. It's at 11. Let's use her all by herself and see if she can get obedience back up to the threshold. She had an average outcome, which is great. I'm perfectly happy with average. Don't have a poor outcome and lose obedience, please. And then +5 from her virtue and an unknown effect. Okay, so we need to be careful here. We have got obedience up. We're not going to be able to get the Effersons back into, or actually we will. If we use them, they will be at neutral, I think. Or no, -20 is the threshold for neutral. So we're going to lose an inquiry there, which is unfortunate. But we have to do what we have to do to not die ourselves. Let's go ahead and choose Chessa. We'll also choose Danica, not Patrick, Blackborn, and begin the month. Alright, average outcome for Fervor. Minor plus to discipline. A rumor about her vice, she knows too much, so that hurt ignorance, which is coming close to the threshold, which was raised by Lord CHERNOBOG not too many seasons ago. Average outcome, obedience +2, and then an unknown effect. So we are out of danger at present as long as we don't sacrifice someone who hurts obedience. Which we won't, because we know exactly who we're going to sacrifice. We are going to sacrifice the Cagney Coward. And be justified in doing so. Valen. This will encourage fervor. And they will grudgingly submit, which means we'll get a 30 hit instead of 50. Skip that scene. So yeah, we got -30 with them, +5 with everyone else, which helps some. We gained 15 fervor and -10 penitence. And the night before the new season, a whisper caresses your dreams. My most beloved, you struggle so pleasingly. Encourage fervor, burning flame of devotion. So he's raised the threshold on fervor. And now that we found the coward, he wants the swindler, who happens to be a female. At least they do give us those hints as to what gender, at least, that the person is. Okay, so even with the raising of fervor, we are hitting that goal currently. We don't have any letters this time, so the only thing to do is to begin our questioning, and they are dissatisfied, so we're actually going to only get 2 inquiries this time, which is a bother. So Netta is rumored to be penitent. So let's go ahead and take her. We know we're looking for a female, a swindler, Yoska. We know it's not her. Her traits are completely uncovered. Could knows too much be a swindler? I'm not sure. I would expect swindler to be something in discipline or obedience or penitence, something like that. I'm not for sure what links the sort of generality with the much more narrowed down trait. We do have an inquiry here, so let's see. She is a linguist, so that is a hit to ignorance, I think. Yep, it surely is. We know she's not the one we need to sacrifice, though, so let's appoint Nadeji. The Cadwells. We have no inquiries here. We know that it can't be Hana because her vice is cynical. It could be Svetlana, though. Could disobedient be swindler? It could be swindler, I think. So let's go ahead and take Nadia. Maybe we can uncover in our first season who the swindler is. And Blackborn. We get an inquiry here. Unrepentant, that may be swindler. I haven't played the game enough to know what the rumors what category they fall under as far as the actual vice. So she is a weasel, which is minus to penitence. Let's then appoint Zanya. And from the Effersons, let's see. Undisciplined. Could that be Swindler? I'm not sure. But we'll give it a try, because we don't have an inquiry. And to begin the season, we are struggling on here, folks, trying to make it to the end of the 3 years when Lord CHERNOBOG will rise in all his eldritch glory. So Fervor's on the cusp. Let's do that. We need to raise our standing with the Cadwells, with the Kegneys, and with the Effersons. I guess we'll just choose those 3. Well, we can't cause our standing's good with the Yovskas, but we do need to improve Fervor. So they're closest to being back in neutral, so we'll do the Effersons and the Yovskas. Alright, average outcome with building the monument. Rumored to be ignorant, so that helps ignorance, and her unknown vice did unknown things. Average outcome, +5 penitence. Rumored to be obedient, helps with obedience. Rumored to lack discipline. Right, we lost even more with House Cagney there. Our relationship with our houses is suffering. Right, Fervor seems to be safe unless one of these 3 has a negative effect to Fervor. So let's go ahead and pick those 3. Alright, average outcome with burning books. Virtue discovery, self-loathing, so that helps penitence. And we have no idea what her vice is, rumor or otherwise. Average outcome with discipline. Unknown impact from the virtue. Vice discovery. She's discovered to be teen. Too young for this responsibility. Obedience -3. Okay, well that makes sense. I was wondering why teen is a vice. She's just too young to be my advisor. Okay. So, not the Swindler. We lose some penitence because Maria can't get the job done. She's obedient though, so that helps. And she's late to every meeting, so we lost some discipline. Right, keeping people out of the rebellious zone. We got the Effersons back up to neutral, which is great. We'll be able to make an inquiry of them next time as long as we don't piss them off. Which we're going to try our best not to do. Could we get the Cadwells to -20? I don't think we can. I think we get minus or a +15 when we choose them by themselves. Maybe more than that, but I'm not sure. Let's make sure to keep them at neutral. These are both at -40. Let's go ahead and improve discipline. No, on the other hand, let's improve ignorance because that's a bit lower than discipline. Alright, great outcome. Spread that ignorance. Never thought I'd be saying that. Alright, penitence +5. Rumored to know too much, so also hurts ignorance while trying to help it. Average outcome for flagellation. Some unknown amount of obedience. And she's discovered to be gluttonous. So, -5 to discipline. Well, it looks like we have not discovered who the Swindler is this time. So we have eliminated some suspects. Who do we sacrifice? That's the question. The Blackborns are our best relationship. If we take a -50 to them, they'll still be neutral. I think that there's no way we can sacrifice anyone and not have them be outraged. Yeah, there is no way. The question is, and I don't know if this is the case because I've never done this in a past playthrough, if I happen to sacrifice Zanya, and she is the swindler, but we just don't know it, does that satisfy Lord CHERNOBOG? I want to say it probably doesn't, but we'll see, won't we? Okay, so we gained discipline but lost penitence, lost 50 with Blackborn, though they're still at neutral, so we get an inquiry there. And either she wasn't the swindler or CHERNOBOG wants us to know what the sin is before we sacrifice someone for it. We have a letter. Carl Efferson reports that Chessa Yoska has called CHERNOBOG fictional. While Chessa is not the most ardent worshipper, there is no proof that she disavowed our faith. How dare you, Chessa? How dare you? Lord CHERNOBOG is almighty. We could condemn her and lose standing with the Yoskas, who are neutral. We could afford to do it, probably. We could demand evidence, and fervor would suffer, which we don't want to happen because it's just barely above the threshold, or release her, and House Efferson will not like that. We'll take the hit with Yoska, since they are our higher standing. So we gained 10 with Efferson, and we lost 15 with Yoska, but it will still keep them in the neutral range, so we will get our inquiry, which we need to find the swindler, that loathsome sinner. We don't have an inquiry here, unfortunately. So, undisciplined, could that be swindler? I don't think it could be. It may be able to, though. However, let's take Vasilisa. Not really sure how to pronounce her first name. In the Yovska estate, we do have an inquiry. We have discovered almost everyone who's still alive's vices, so let's ask about Nadeji, who is dull, so that helps with ignorance. We will appoint her, because she's the only possible one that could be the swindler. The Cadwells. No inquiry here either. And the only possible vice that could be swindler left is Svetlana, so let's take Svetlana. The Blackborns, we have an inquiry here. We know Tyranny is a weasel, and we don't know Danika's vice. Unrepentant. Unrepentant sounds kind of like a swindler to me. What about you guys? Maybe so. Efferson. Begin inquiry. Casimira is obedient. Let's take her and see what we shall reap. Okay, standing minus 25. We need to get them to minus 20. Can we get the Cadwells back into neutral? I don't know. I don't know. This point in the game when everything just starts to fall apart. We'll take you. We'll take you. We'll take you. Tell me your vices. Okay, so Vasilisa just hurt obedience badly. Rumored to be disobedient. What is the disobedient trait, though? That's the question. It was pretty big. So maybe it's the swindler, or maybe it's another negative 30, and then we could be justified in sacrificing her. So Svetlana hurt ignorance. She had a poor outcome on discipline also. Damn it, Svetlana. Do your job. Average outcome there. +2 obedience. And she is stubborn. I don't know what the negative on stubborn is. I imagine it's not a negative 30. Okay. So we're going to have to juggle these low ones to keep them to where we can get an inquiry. Though we should be looking at who we're going to sacrifice, because we've yet to find a major vice yet. Yeah, stubborn's just a minus 10. Casimira. And this is going to take obedience into the red, but it didn't start in the red, so we'll be okay. We really need to find out what her problem is, her vice here. Please let it be swindler. We're at We have to use her too, don't we? Yeah, we do. Otherwise, they're going to be out of neutral. Rebellious. It's not a swindler, but it is a -30 vice. And really hurt obedience. Average outcome, great. And unrepentant. Alright. Knows too much. Still didn't really uncover any more information about those. So we're going to be sacrificing someone from Kegni. Well, no need to use her anymore because we know what her trait is there. Let's use Nadeji. And try to get obedience back up out of the gutter. Don't think knows too much will turn out to be swindler, though I guess it could. Guess. Ah, there's the swindler. There's the swindler. We found her. Alright. Who did we sacrifice last time, though? I don't remember what house they're from. Well, who we sacrifice this time will depend on who it was last time. Because we don't want to outrage a house by sacrificing twice in a row if we can help it. Even if it is the one that CHERNOBOG asked for. So they'll grudgingly submit. So great. It will decrease ignorance? Really? Okay. But they'll gain penitence? I guess that's fine. Sure. Give her to Lord CHERNOBOG. He demands, and he receives. Alright, so we gained and we lost. The night before the new season, a whisper caresses your dreams. My most beloved, you struggle so pleasingly. Encourage penitence, deserved suffering for mortal sins. The artist, give him to me. So we have to kill an artist? It's kind of sad when making art is considered a sin, isn't it? And our threshold for penitence just got raised, so we need to work hard on that. And we're looking for a male artist. Very well, we have no letters to deal with here. So it's not Milos or Vasan. And they have no more males here, so let's inquire about Zoya. She is an embezzler. There's a lot of major vices in the Kegni house, aren't there? So, embezzler hurts discipline, which discipline's in an okay spot. We might want to take one of these so that we have a for sure grudging acceptance of our next sacrifice. Sure. Let's take Zoya this time. Right, we know. It may be easy to find this one, though. Considering that we've uncovered the traits of a lot of the guys in the village, haven't we? Let's see. Let's take Chessa. Even though she hurts ignorance, we don't know her virtue yet. I won't touch you. Stop being so dramatic. Right, they're still dissatisfied with us. There's not a whole lot we can do about that. They have no men left, so let's appoint Svetlana. Let's try to continue uncovering her traits there. Blackborns. Alright, so these do have some males left who haven't uncovered everything. Well, this is an undisciplined rumor. Slovenly, so he's not the artist. Though Ladislaus could be. What is a negative to discipline? We don't want to have too many negatives to the same stat in an advisory board if we can help it. Effersons. So they got a couple of males that we haven't uncovered their vices yet. Lacking fervor. What would the artistic trait be under? Would it be lacking fervor? I don't know, maybe obedience or discipline? Let's uncover the trait. Shy. Well, that hurts fervor. Let's grab Carl. Since he is rumored to be penitent, we have at least a little information uncovered on him. And we do need to raise penitence. So, begin. Alrighty, well, we have our scapegoat here, though our standing with them is not the best. And that lowers what? Discipline? We can afford to take a hit to discipline here and there. Let's raise penitence. And I mean, I would like to get these up to where I can inquire. I just don't know if I can feasibly do that. Let's get penitence up first. Oh, this person has a bad trait that hurt our ignorance. It wasn't an unknown impact. I friggin' saw what it did. At least ignorance was not in the red prior to this, though his virtue is a big plus to penitence, so penitence is now safe. So, we need to keep Kegni up, though we're going to lose 30 from them, because that's almost certainly who we're going to sacrifice. Let's use you. Let's use you. And let's use you. We're still trying to discover male vices here and find the artist. Alright, great outcome in ignorance. Great, got it back above the threshold, though our person who hurts ignorance greatly in a little bit may change that. Alright, average outcome, that's fine. +5 to penitence. Rumor of knows too much, so that is the hurting of ignorance. Gotcha. Would love to discover exactly what that is. Could knows too much be artist? I'm not sure. I would very much doubt that knows too much could be discipline, because you have to be disciplined to be an artist, for the most part, I think. Alright, undisciplined, so that hurt discipline a bit, and also our ignorance is down a bit now. Poor outcome on obedience. Alright. So as long as this doesn't dip to -60, they will not go into rebellion. Got +35 here, though, and our penitence is high, so we can probably stop using them. Though I would like to uncover the knows too much trait there. This hurts discipline, right? Yes. Lowers it greatly. That helps minimize the impact. Though he's going to hurt ignorance. Yeah, we'll just do it like this again and try to get more vices uncovered. Plus to ignorance, average outcome. Rumored to be obedient, so that helps obedience. Alright, minus to discipline. Average outcome, +5 to penitence. The artist, we found the artist. It is Carl. So now we know knows too much can be an artist. Alright, great outcome with obedience. Our ignorance has suffered this time, but we have found the sinner our Lord has demanded. And it even comes from the house that can afford to take the hit. How about that? Excellent. So we will not put a third out of reach of inquiry this time. I don't know what we could do to get them to not grudgingly submit. I don't think it's possible in the game. I think we're always going to lose 30, even at the best outcome. Which does make the game more tense and interesting, I will say that. So, lost 30 approval, but it's still at +10, so great. Everyone else gained +5. We gained 15 ignorance, so that fixes our ignorance problem. But lose 15 penitence, and it's still above the threshold, so we're in good shape. Feels almost like we're doing it, folks. That could change at any time. Encourage ignorance, so our ignorance threshold is going to raise. And find the embezzler. We know who the embezzler is, right? They're from Kegni? Village is growing too curious. Must tend to ignorance. Yeah, we know who the embezzler is. So we have our sacrifice all lined up for this next season. However, I think this video has gone on long enough. Hopefully... Why does it say 11 here? I think that's supposed to be 1. It's kind of a glitch there. We have 1 year remaining. Hopefully we can finish up this run in the next video with a win. Cross fingers. But we will pick up there next time. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, leave a like below. It really does help tremendously. And of course, hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more in the future. I have been Tevaron, and until next time, friends, be excellent to each other.